Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 22, Text 4. Translation. When the great sages accepted their reception according to the instructions of the Shastras, and finally took their seats offered by the king, influenced by the glories of the sages, immediately bowed down. Thus he worshipped the four Kumaras. Purport. The four Kumaras are the Parampara spiritual masters of the Vaishnava Sampradaya. Out of the four Sampradayas, namely Brahma Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, Kumara Sampradaya, and Rudra Sampradaya, the disciplic succession of spiritual master to disciple, known as the Kumara Sampradaya, is coming down from the four Kumaras. So Prithu Maharaj was very respectful to the Sampradaya Acharyas. As it is said by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sakshadaриtvena Samasta Shastrair, a spiritual master or the Parampara Acharya should be respected exactly also strictly followed the injunctions of the Shastra in receiving a spiritual master or acharya of the transcendental disciplic succession. Whenever an acharya is seen, one should immediately bow down before him. Prithu Maharaj did it properly. Therefore, the words used here are Prashrayanata Kandaraha. He bowed down before Gauravad Yantrita Sabya Prashrayanata Kandaraha Vidivat Pujayanchakre Grihita Dyarhana Sanam. When the great sages accepted their reception according to the instructions of the Shastras and finally took their seats offered by the king, influenced by the glories of the sages, immediately bowed down. Thus he worshipped the four Kumaras. So, from this chapter, we learn about Vaishnava etiquette and also development. And we are just starting the chapter, and this chapter is called Prithu Maharaj is meeting with the four Kumaras, and this chapter is actually very long. I will tell you how many verses it has. It has 63 verses, also long purports. So it is a very important chapter. It is an important chapter because there is a conversation going on and there is exchange going on between King Prithu or Maharaj Prithu and the four Kumaras. So four Kumaras are exalted personalities that they are Sampradaya Acharyas. This is a big thing, Sampradaya Acharya. Like Lord Brahma is Acharya of the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Then Lakshmi Devi is the Acharya of Sri Sampradaya. 4 Kumaras are the Acharyas of Kumara Sampradaya, and Lord Shiva is the Acharya of Rudra Sampradaya. So Sampradaya means disciplic succession of spiritual masters. So they are very exalted personalities, and they should be offered proper respect. So when we join our movement, we learn how to offer obeisances in the temple room, how to offer obeisances to the deities, how to offer obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, how to offer obeisances to our initiating spiritual master, and how to bow down to other devotees, to offer Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I remember when I first saw bowing down, I was very impressed, because in other cultures you see people doing this, a little bit bowing down with their heads by standing. But when I saw devotees falling on the floor, I thought, wow, this is real respect. They fall on the floor for each other and for their teachers and for their God. So it was impressive. And this bowing down, namaste or whatever, looked very, actually, not so impressive to me. Because in comparison to falling on the floor, this is not very impressive. So this is the expression of respect to the person we are bowing down to, and also expression of respect to God. Expression of respect to the whole culture of Krishna consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada brought the whole culture. He didn't just knowledge, he brought the whole culture. And this culture includes arts and dance and literature and cooking, all aspects of life. So King Prithu is a saintly king, but he is also an incarnation of God. So God himself appears and shows by example. He shows by example how to behave. Like Lord Chaitanya showed by example how to be a devotee. Similarly, King Prithu showed by example how to be a saintly king. Or Raja Rishi. The word Rajarshi or Raja Rishi is very interesting. It says that someone is actually both Kshatriya and a Brahmana. Raja means king and Rishi means sage. So sage, usually sage is Brahminical. It's a Brahminical person. So the leader has to have both qualities of a Kshatriya and a Brahmana. Here it is said that great sages accepted this reception by the king. So one should know also how to accept respect. How to accept respect. So one should accept respect with respect also. Or one should return respect. And we see that when someone offers obeisances to the other, then the other person also offers obeisances, or at least bows their head, acknowledges the acceptance of the respect, or the expression of respect, or demonstration of respect. So they are coming, and the king has hastily come to receive them, as we read yesterday. Hastily means fast. Also his associates got up and came to receive, and then they are taking their seat. And when they are taking their seat, the etiquette is to wash their feet. And not only wash their feet, but to sprinkle the water that their feet was washed on their heads and the heads of their associates or heads of their family members. So King Prithu did that. And this is an expression of humility, expression of appreciation for that person, and expression of understanding that I need mercy of that person. I need mercy in the form of their well wishes, but also in the form of their transcendental knowledge. So now King Prithu is expecting to be enlightened by the Kumaras, and he will ask questions. So one should inquire from the spiritual master. Tadvidi pranivatena pariprashnena sevaya. Prashna means questions. Prashnena, inquiry. Pariprashnena sevaya. Upranipat means dandavat, to offer obeisances, pranipat. And prashnena, inquiry, and sevaya, service. So how to approach a spiritual master with humility, with the service attitude, and with inquiry. People approach sometimes a spiritual master with the challenging attitude, but this will not help the inquirer or the candidate or the disciple if they approach a spiritual master with a challenging attitude. One should approach with a humble attitude. And Prithu Maharaj is exemplifying this. He is approaching with a humble attitude. Also, when we read these books, we approach with a humble attitude. We want to get enlightened. We don't approach these books with the attitude of, let me find faults in these books, let me find the mistakes, and let me grow my doubts by reading. Of course, sometimes you have doubts, you have questions, and this should be clarified with the spiritual master and with senior devotees. So respect is a great part of our Krishna consciousness culture. Respect for everyone, every living entity. It is said that every living entity is a temple of God because in their body the super soul resides. So one offers obeisances or respects to the soul and also to the super soul. So we are aware that there is a super soul in everyone's heart. And if we offend people, then the Lord is not pleased who is situated in their heart. So therefore, devotee is always respectful to others, even if they are not respectful to him or to her. So, what was Prithu Maharaj doing in his behavior? He was strictly following the injunctions of the scriptures. Strictly following, showing by example, strictly following the injunctions of the scriptures. And in this way, he was teaching everyone who is reading about this how to behave and how to receive great personalities. And also he would start inquiring, asking questions, and asking relevant questions, asking important questions, and getting enlightened by the Kumaras. So he will be inquiring about the duty of the human being, he will be inquiring about the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the Kumaras would very gladly preach. For example, if somebody asks you a good question, then you should thank them. You should be grateful. Because this gives you an opportunity to speak about the Lord and to share what you know, your realizations, your knowledge, to share with others what you know about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this Krishna Katha, or reading about the Lord, or discussing about the Lord, is very potent and very powerful, and it purifies the heart of both speaker and the listeners. Shravanam Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakyam Atmanivedanam are the 9 processes of devotional service. 7 of them belong to Vaidhi Bhakti, and 2 of them belong to Raganuga Bhakti, the last 2. And first 2 are Shravanam Kirtanam, hearing about the Lord and chanting about the Lord, or reading about the Lord, or discussing about the Lord. So there are many dialogues in the scriptures where there are these discussions, and the whole Bhagavatam is a conversation between Maharaj Parikshit and Shukadev Goswami, or Vyasaki, the son of Vyasa. Another name of Shukadev Goswami is Vyasaki, or the son of Vyasa. And Shukadev Goswami is speaking, but he is also relating other dialogues, other conversations between other devotees, sages, kings and sages, different personalities. He is repeating these stories as he has heard from authorities. And as we read in the Transcendental Diary, Srila Prabhupada said, "There is no magic, I have just presented Bhagavad Gita as it is." So the greatest magic of Srila Prabhupada's presentation of the Bhagavad Gita is that he didn't change anything. He said, if I have any credit in what I have done to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, is that I didn't change anything. I didn't change anything. I didn't interpret. I didn't give my own opinion, my own speculation about what the Lord thinks. But if the Lord says, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Acharya repeats, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He doesn't say Krishna is energy. Krishna is energy, and he appears in the form so that people can see him. Because this is a speculation. God is not energy, he is energetic. He is the source of energy. He is the one who possesses energy. Of course, it is said that energy and energetic are non-different. There is this entity, which is Krishna, who is the source of all energy and possessor of all energy. And that is inconceivable. It's called Achintya Shakti, inconceivable potency of the Lord. So we need to understand that we cannot understand everything right away. And when and how we can understand? Yasya deve parabhaktir yata deve tata gurau tasyaite kathita hyarta prakashante mahatmanaha. Only to those great souls who have an implicit faith in the spiritual master and the Lord, the secrets of the Vedas are being revealed. But you cannot have a blind faith. Faith needs to be developed. In the 3rd chapter, in the 3rd verse of the 9th chapter, it is said in the purport that the process of Krishna consciousness is the development of faith. And one who has a first-class faith, he doesn't fall down. One who has a second-class faith, he also doesn't leave, but he is not able to explain everything and to convince and to argue. And one who has a 3rd-class faith is maybe attracted by some sentiment, but at the same time he will leave. He doesn't have a strong faith. So the development of Krishna consciousness is the development of faith. How much faith do you have that God is with you and that God is Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam, which means the greatest friend, the greatest well-wisher. And this is tested when we are in trouble. How much faith do we have? It's easy to have faith when the sun is shining. But do you have faith when you are in big trouble and people torture you and the circumstances are bad, or there is huge natural catastrophe and you ask yourself, why me? Why is this happening to me? Where is God now? God has abandoned me, and your faith is shaken. But in the Bhagavatam we see examples of devotees who didn't lose their faith when it gets tough, and when it gets difficult. They don't lose their faith. They still have a strong faith in the Lord. And this is a lesson for us, to not lose faith. Never give up. Be ready for anything and never give up. This is an attitude of a spiritual warrior. Be ready for anything and never give up. So we learn how to be strong. We learn how to be courageous. We learn also how to ask bold questions. You see, Prithu Maharaj will also ask bold questions. We spoke in the seminar about bold questions. One bold question that you can ask yourself or ask others: how can I improve? How can I change? What do I need to change? Are you ready to face what you need to change as a devotee? Are you ready to face what you need to improve? Are you ready to hear about it? Are you ready to discover it? So this is a symptom of sincerity, when one is ready to face what he needs to change. And instead of getting insulted when somebody tells us that we need to change something, we should actually be grateful. And that's very hard. That's very hard to do. But we see that devotees like Prithu Maharaj, they are very bold. And they ask about surrender. And they ask about the highest benefit. And they ask about how to surrender. And they ask about humility. And they ask about duty. So we learn how to ask these fantastic questions that will help us improve. They will help us improve. So this whole life is training. This whole life is training. We are getting trained by hearing Bhagavatam every day. And our consciousness is being shaped to think in a certain way, to think as a devotee. To think as a devotee. So we are learning from the Acharyas how to think. And if you change the way you think, then you will also change the way you feel. Because you want to feel good, but you don't feel good every time because of different reasons. But if you change the way you think, if you think like a devotee, then you will start to feel like a devotee. And how does devotee feel? Devotee feels enthusiastic, devotee feels strong, devotee feels determined, devotee feels compassionate toward other living entities. Devotee feels grateful to the Lord and devotees for his service and his opportunity to be in Krishna consciousness. So these are the feelings of a devotee. And then the third aspect is you can desire like a devotee. So you may tell me that you are special, but if you have the same desire as materialists, you are not special. You are the same. You are the same as others. Your people have same desires. They want to enjoy the material world and they want to enjoy their senses. So how are you special if you are the same as other people, who have the same desires? So what makes someone special is actually what he wants, what he desires. That's the first test. But if you desire to serve and please the Supreme Lord, if you desire to support other living entities in their attempt to reconnect with the Lord, That is special. That is very special. And whatever Krishna gives you, you accept the best. Make the best of a bad bargain. Get the most out of what you have. We spoke yesterday about optimization. Optimization means you know how to get the best out of everything you have. Or get the most out of everything you have. So we spoke yesterday about this temple room. You can use it in the morning, maybe a little bit in the noon, and in the evening, but actually you can also use it whole day. And organize things here, maybe organize services here, or organize courses here. So one little piece of space, like this room, can be optimally used if it's used more. Or the kitchen. Usually in the Krishna conscious temple, kitchen is used a lot. A lot of cooking is going on, practically more or less whole day. But you can use kitchen only for the morning, only for breakfast, or you make something for the whole day, or you can make it, or you can have different groups cooking during the day, and kitchen can be active all the time, and you can produce prasadam and distribute prasadam whole day. So optimally use, maximally use what God has given you. You have your voice. You can use your voice to actually encourage people in Krishna consciousness, to enlighten people with transcendental knowledge. Or you can shut up and don't use your voice most of the day. You can use your hands also. You can raise your hands during the day. So Krishna and Acharyas, they want us to use our intelligence, and we are learning from them also. Srila Prabhupada was very practical. He said, they were discussing with his disciples something about money, because temples need money for maintenance. And then Srila Prabhupada told the story of two men, and one is asking the other, "Are you intelligent?" And he's starting looking into his pocket. He said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, if I'm intelligent, then my pockets are full of money." So Srila Prabhupada would said, tax your brain. Tax your brain. That means use your brain. Think. Use your intelligence if you need to get money. If you need anything for the service of the Lord, use your brain. Tax your brain how to distribute books. So Vaisheshika Prabhu, who is a Sankirtan minister in North America and a guru, and the temple president of San Jose Temple in Silicon Valley, in California, he discovered the smart box, which is a box where people can buy books by giving a donation, taking a book and giving a donation in the box. And there is nobody selling the book, but books are being sold. So he came up with the idea that the box can sell books. Like people have boxes, you put the box, you get a juice, you put a box, you get a candy, some sweet, machine is selling. So that's called lazy intelligence. It's not actually lazy intelligence, it's lazy intelligent, or actually the one who is using his intelligence to work less. So lazy intelligence. How to make money without working. Devotees really like this. I mean, when I give a seminar about financial competence, they really love when I speak about passive income. This means you make money with working very little or without working. This is a very popular topic. It's popular not only with devotees, it's also popular with non-devotees. Because everybody likes to get something for nothing. But actually, it doesn't work like this. In the Lord's creation, you get something for something and not something for nothing. But you can also use your intelligence how to do something with less energy. That's fine. Then you can use all your energy to get much more, because you get a lot with little energy. So how can you get money without working? Some people are begging. They sit and they put a box and they are begging. Sometimes they have some sign, please, I'm dying. Or they have some smart sign. They put something more inspiring for people to give money. For example, if you have a house, you can rent it and people pay rent. Sometimes you have to repair something, but mainly you don't work to get that money. They just pay you every month. So that's a passive income. If you write a book, you start getting royalty. Whenever this book is sold, you get a percentage. So this is also passive income. Now, you may say if you have a business, other people are working, you're a boss, and it's a passive income, but it's a big responsibility, and you still have to supervise, and you have to, as a boss, you still have to, unless you have a good manager who does everything, and you are just the boss. So that's also passive income. So if you ask yourself, how can I make money without working? Maybe you will get some ideas. Then devotees say, oh my God, I would like to have more time for hearing and chanting about Krishna. There go on social welfare, or let me organize my life so I can have a passive income. And then when they have to work, then they take drugs, watch TV, and engage in sinful activities, because now they don't have to struggle for existence. So better to honestly work like an ass than be lazy under the excuse of having more time for service and not working. Oh yeah, if I have a lot of money, I would be actually spending a lot of time preaching, chanting, and things like that. And that's not true. This is not true. When you don't have to struggle, then you will actually fall down. So it's better to struggle for existence and to work and to be honest and to pray to Krishna and to cry to Krishna than have a lot of time and be lazy and fall down into sinful activities. So all these, all kinds of different traps that we fall into, and how Maya is cheating us, and also you can see in the scriptures about relationships. People fight with each other, they are envious of each other. All these things are there in the Bhagavatam, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in other books. You can learn so many things. So scriptures are directly connected to our personal development. Even every Krishna's pastime, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, every Krishna's pastime has to do with the specific anartha that we have. You have heard about it. Every Krishna's pastime is connected to a specific anartha that we have, and every Krishna's pastime is purifying a specific anartha. So for example, Putana, the pastime of Putana, what anartha is it helping with? Do you remember? I think it's a bogus guru, because she turned herself into a beautiful woman, but he was a witch. So someone may present himself as a great guru. A guru on the internet, traveling around the world, big beard. He is a typical bogus guru. He knows everything. And even devotees, some devotees are impressed by him sometimes. But actually, this person is a bogus guru. So bogus, he actually sounds as if he knows a lot, but even he may be intelligent materially, but he actually doesn't tell you to serve God. That's why he is bogus. He may be healthy, he may tell you how to have relationships, he may tell you how to control the mind, so many things, but he doesn't tell you to serve God and to worship God. And this is why he is bogus. He is teaching you how to live in the material world, how to be smart in the material world. And they are really impressed. Wow, such a smart guy. But he's not telling you to become humble. He's not telling you to surrender to God, to bow down to the saintly person like here. He doesn't tell you these things. Maybe he will like if you bow down to him, but not to bow down to the acharyas, sampradaya acharyas. Okay, so thank you very much for listening. Do you have any questions? Yes?
If possible. Thank you. I have a question about the smart box, which can sell the books. Exactly what was done. So Sheshaka Prabhu is in Silicon Valley, and he did this box. What did he? How he put this box outside? Or how it functioning?
I think we have to see this on his website. I'm not sure how it works, but I'm sure it's smart. It's called Smart Box.
Okay, then I can see. And I have
Yes.
So Maharaj Parishit was telling Srimad Bhagavatam to his mother, and Kapila Deva was telling Srimad Bhagavatam to his mother, and a bit Krishna maybe with this lila, with these verses in the mouth. Why they all are speaking? Has it some why? Because why they are teaching their mothers? Why these great personalities are revealing the secrets of the scriptures to their mothers?
Well, it's not always to mothers.
Not always, but to mothers as well too. Just like Kapila Dev Maharaj Parishit. Why?
But sometimes also father gets some. For example, son of Maharaj Chitraketu, he was preaching to his father.
To his father I can understand, but why to the mother?
Because mother also needs to learn. It is said that the child becomes a guru of his parents.
So it doesn't matter maybe to mother or to father?
It doesn't matter. It's not. I mean, both father and mother who are not Krishna conscious, they need to hear about Krishna. And not only father and mother, but also aunts and sisters and brothers. Difficult in our situation. Our parents, they wouldn't listen to us, so we bring devotees and they listen to them. They are more open to listen from somebody else. It's possible if the parents listen. Sometimes there is parents who listen from their children and they become devotees, or they see the child is changing. So sometimes, yeah.
If possible, for one more question.
Uh,
You were speaking about different influence make us face with some difficult challenges. I think that is not the mostly difficult challenges. You have to be threatened with a pistol to distribute when it's very cold or something like that. When we feel less connection with Krishna, and that is really the greatest challenge. Oh, it's not so easy to face from the God's challenges or something. How to do?
Devotees have endorsed or praised that book. Sachinanda Swami, and there are several senior devotees. This is a bona fide book, and this is an amazing book. The essence of the essence of the essence. These prayers we can offer to Krishna.
These are her prayers, or that is just she took the prayers from the scripture?
Well, it's her prayers, but they are influenced by the prayers from the scriptures. She didn't copy paste. She didn't copy prayers from. Designed her own prayers, and it's a really amazing book. So we need to Akrura attained perfection by offering prayers. In a loving relationship with others, you can also do with God. Okay?
Yes, I wrote some letters just at the beginning. What I wrote, what I asked for, it is fulfilled. It was some just very little twice. It worked.
But you can continue writing.
Yes.
Now more power.
I think I should know if it's really, because that time when I was new, how to say it now it's.
We can pray for more sincerity. Pray for more sincerity also. Oh, I think there was their question first, and then.
And I wanted to ask what the questions Son asked Arjuna to Krishna. What questions did he ask?
I have compiled them in one file. To you. You have to remind me.
Okay.
I have all Arjuna's questions in one file.
For me too.
Arjuna's questions.
Yeah, but please message me.
Okay.
Send me a message, and I will send you. I have it. Then, before you.
What to do against the tendency to always criticize immediately. Although the practice to be humble, but still the tendency is so strong that, how to deal with it.
To see, you can see that Krishna is speaking through others. Maybe tendency to defend. What do you think about that? Maybe it will work. Okay?
So, you told that writing how it will benefit. You are directly standing in front of the deity and you are saying, or you are opening your mind, or then once again the use of writing the letters. You know, message is going to him. So, which one is stronger?
You have to see what works for you. Whether you stand in front of the deities and talk to them or you write, it's important that this exchange is personal and it to change. So whether it's writing or talking, it doesn't matter. The modus, how you say, the way you do it, it's not so important. It's important. So whatever works. Palena parichiyate. We judge by result. Palena parichiyate. This is one of the principles. But always used to say, people say, we have this, we have that, we also have the same process. And Prabhupada said, look, this Bhagavad Gita has done. Bhagavad Gita makes devotees. And there is hundreds of Bhagavad Gitas. Result. We are not just talking. So whatever you want to do, you judge by result. Whether it's writing or talking or, screaming. Result. And you want to communicate personally, you want him to take you seriously. And we just forget to pray, my dear Lord. We forget this. It's a very simple prayer. My dear Lord, please help me. My dear Lord, please help me. You can even address your mind. My dear mind, please cooperate with me in my attempt to be Krishna. Address